Morning, Trainiacs. It is an exciting day. In addition to this being the first real workout that I've done in 2 weeks since getting a little procedure, it's also the first open water swim of the season. So I'm headed out to our local swimming hole. I'm just gonna do a little cruisy kinda just splash around, try to keep up to a friend out there. But this is the first time that I'm taking a wetsuit for a swim this year. And as people are starting to get out into open water because all the pools are closed, wetsuit maintenance obviously is becoming a thing. Putting on wetsuits is becoming a thing. How to fit wetsuits, how to maintain wetsuits, how to make sure that our wetsuits are cared for is becoming a thing. Because let's face it, these things are expensive now. So today I'm going to give you, I think it's 7 hacks that I've found over the years that have really helped me maintain, get on, use a wetsuit to the best of its abilities. All right, so there is a fairly good chance that a lot of you are using a wetsuit here for the first time or for the first time this year. Wetsuits historically have been known to cause people to panic, especially if you're new to triathlon, and that tight feeling of the wetsuit really doesn't help matters. One of the reasons that is wetsuits at the beginning of the season and when you first get them need to be loosened up. Best way to do that is before your actual swim. So you want to actually get the wetsuit wet, and that getting the wetsuit wet is what's going to loosen it up. So put it on a hanger, put it in the shower, get it wet inside and out, maybe a couple of times, and if you really want to have bonus points, get in it and get it wet and stretch it out that little bit, and then you'll be a lot more comfortable because it's going to be a lot looser, a lot just more pliable when you actually get it into open water. That's one of the biggest things that's going to stop you from having that panic response. And then we let it dry there. So I had a varicose vein removal surgery now 13 days ago. And because I did a laser surgery, I'm able to resume exercise lightly very, very quickly. Like within a day, I was walking around the neighborhood, as opposed to the old surgery that was like vein stripping. People would be laid up for 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm starting off with swimming because it's less impact, because legs are still a little bit bruised up. And believe it or not, actually standing in like this much water just in a pool is better compression, which is really good for post varicose vein surgery. It's better compression than actually wearing compression socks. And I've been wearing compression socks for 13 days straight. You do not want to smell those compression socks. So we're headed to Birds Hill Park. It's about a 45-minute drive away, and we're gonna meet up with a pal. It's like the most beautiful place around Winnipeg to swim. Man, we are lucky to be able to do this. I tell you, when you don't have the ability to exercise for a week or two, even just that is enough to remind you how we are lucky to be able to suffer through swim, bike, run. That's some damn good suffering.
These corporations during the COVID lockdown, but you didn't have trillions of dollars to fix these impoverished communities.
So this here is Birds Hill Park. Now this is where you would have seen some race videos in the past. This is like our closest really, really big park. There's a natural man-made lake that a lot of our triathlons are held in. This is where a lot of our early season duathlons are held. This is where NTK and I would like to live. There's a 13K really good loop, little hilly for some fast stuff, a lot of good riding out in this area, and running trails for days and days. I could run a new trail every day and probably not have to do the same one for about 2 weeks. It's beautiful. You'll see in a bit. So this first one, not so much of a hack. I mean, everyone who's been around triathlon for a while knows about it, but if you're new, you gotta put on Body Glide just about every single workout. Even after 11 years of doing triathlon, in the first bunch of swims right after getting into the season, I really chafe. Like, I get a big hickey. Yeah, hi. Get a big hickey on the back of my neck. And back here, places that people tend to rub, tends to be around the collar, all around the shoulder. So just Body Glide up in all of these areas around here. Fans. Hi.
How are you?
Good. Celebrity guest swimmer.
Hello. I feel like it's been a long time since I've said hello to your camera.
It's been a long time. All right, so here's where the hacks actually come in. One of the biggest issues that people have with putting on a wetsuit is that it's sticky. First tip, I'm not using the same wetsuit that I got wet this morning. Using a different wetsuit. You don't want to put on a wetsuit if you're sweaty, if the wetsuit is wet, or if you're wet. You want it to be dry as a bone. But still, it's a little tough to get wetsuits on. So that's where this hack comes in. Get yourself just a couple of plastic bags, like regular shopping bags. Put them on your feet. Apparently this is old news if you're a surfer, but it's new news to a lot of triathletes. And like magic, whoop, done, easy. Whoop, huh? How's that? If we could just get a garbage bag for my big out of shape bum. Now this next one I've never tried, but Lucy Charles has actually talked about it, more for ankles. So you can take a little bit of baby oil, and for hopeful, we'll find out right now, ease of getting the suit on and off, put a little bit of baby oil around wrists and where the cuffs are. We're gonna try this. This might be a horrible failure, and it also isn't terribly good depending on what baby oil you have for the water, but let's see. Yeah, certainly a little smoother. So, all right, learned a lesson there. Let's try this one. Maybe I should also take my shirt off before doing this. But okay, that works. I don't know if I do it in a race, because this. And then the final one for ease of getting things on and off that I wouldn't recommend unless you're sponsored by a wetsuit company is some athletes cut the ankle of their wetsuit just to take a little bit of the meat off and get that opening a little bit wider up top. But like, this is the new Roka Maverick X2, and I find that a lot of the newer wetsuits are a lot easier to get off at the cuffs. So I'd say just buy a more updated wetsuit and you won't have that to worry about. Like, who's cutting their wetsuits out there? I've heard it. And then the final one before I have to go swim is, if you are doing a swim that is cold water or it's cold on the day and you are somebody that tends to be fairly chilly, get yourself, not one of these, but an insulated thermos. Warm it up in the morning with warm water. Take that warm water and put it down your wetsuit. This is actually a trick that Patrick Longa told me about, because he's a small guy. He gets really cold. So he gets somebody to hold a thermos, he fills up his wetsuit, and then it keeps him warm for the entire duration that he's waiting to actually start. The more you know. All right, we swim. Woo-wee. So that was just a like 20-minute swim. I'm still new to this whole fitness thing after 13 days away, so I just splashed around, and I worked really hard to not get dropped by Nicole. She's wicked. So the final thing that you want to do, that you all might have gleaned from this, which is in the background all the time, is that when you dry your wetsuit, you want it to be flipped inside out. My very first wetsuit that I had, I didn't realize it, and I had it flipped the right way because I wanted to look at it hanging over the winter and see the logo. But then when I actually went to use it in the spring the next year, it was starting to kind of crumble a little bit on the inside, and it smelled awful because, like, you just think about what happens when you have darkness, you have dampness, and you've got no movement. You get mold. And all that mold, if this is flipped the right side way with the outside out, you end up with mold building up on this soft inside, and that's what can actually stay wet and disintegrate over a certain period of time. So when you dry things, flip it inside out, keep it out of the sun because that can damage it, flip it one way, and then flip it the next day, keep it 100% dry, and that's how you can make sure that your wetsuits last a long time. Now, Trainiacs, if you are interested in getting a Roka wetsuit of your own, actually, we are currently running a contest that we're just going to end over the next couple of days. If you go to roka.com/Taren, all you have to do is put in your email address, and you can win a top-of-the-line $975 Roka Maverick X2 wetsuit and an entry into the Ironman race of your choice in 2021. And if you don't win, you will get a discount for any future purchase at Roka. And full disclosure, Roka is a sponsor of this channel, of Team Trainiac. All our Trainiac athletes get discounts on Roka stuff, and frankly, I am a Roka fanboy, and I am proud of it. So that is it. That is all, Trainiacs. I am thrilled to be back doing even just 20-minute swims. Like I said, we're lucky to do this. Don't take for granted what you can do, even if the workouts aren't going well. Whether they're going well or not, we're lucky to do this. If you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. Later, Trainiacs.